Welcome, basketball fans, inside the electric environment of the Eastlink Center for this carnivorous competition here on this Security Saturday. Well, we used Security Saturday last time when we were talking about ranking movements. Today, however, it's just a battle between two competitive teams, two physical teams, two heart on their sleeves teams. The Charlottetown Power versus the Truro Tide here in downtown Charlottetown. Coming your way in just 2.5 minutes. But first, I'm Grant Harrison, and you'll notice next to me, there's nobody. It's just me and you and basketball. And that's the way we like to keep it, folks. It's PEI basketball all day, all night. And Charlottetown Power are looking to come out hot and heavy against this Truro Tide team. We talked about it yesterday. Adam Stanford posted on his Instagram story after the last Truro Tide game. He had a just massive cut into his front right shin. He's still wearing some bandages and leg sleeves today on his right leg. He's got his full leg sleeve on his left leg that we've seen before. But keep an eye on that right leg against the Truro Tide here, as it was a deep cut into that leg there. And it didn't look too pretty, but he posted on his Instagram story, like we said, revenge. ... That's all you need to know here. It's just revenge for the Charlottetown Power. The Truro Tide undefeated until they met the Charlottetown Power for the second time in the season. And then the Charlottetown Power, guess what? They brought them down. Their first loss of the season. And then they had to go across the bridge the next day and play them in Truro. And then they lost there in overtime. I believe it was the first overtime game of the ECBL. And what a game it was. All out, wall-to-wall, competitive action there in Truro. And it's going to be all out, wall-to-wall, competitive action here in Prince Edward Island today with the Charlottetown Power, again, taking on the Truro Tide here in just under a minute. I'm Grant Harrison, and I'm so excited to take you along on this whimsical, magical carpet ride that is ECBL basketball. Now, headlines today, there are none. We already talked about it. Revenge. And it's just that. The Tide, chip on their shoulder. They had a perfect season, and the Power just came along and said, you know what? Not so perfect. You got to deal with us. We got silver medal right now, but you know what? We're not going to make it easy on you. And they've done just that. The Charlottetown Power were looking to sweep them last weekend, go 2-0 against the Tide, and they couldn't do it. It was game scenario stuff, you know, the niche aspects of basketball that we love so much that just weren't there. And an unfortunate look for the Charlottetown Power, going down 2 in OT against the Truro Tide. They're looking for some revenge as well. Basketball coming your way just after we give you some in-house entertainment here with Cowboy Mike Hughes in the building to get this crowd fired up on this Security Saturday. I'll catch you in just a minute, folks, and enjoy.
I'd ask both teams to line up at their respective foul lines, and I'd call on Janie Lynn Perrier for our national anthem. Please stand and take off your hats.
True patriot love in all
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the visiting Truro Tide. Starting number 31, Garrick Alexander. Also starting at 6'2" guard from Delta State University, number 2, Armand Benford. A 6'5" forward from Central Florida Force, number 17, Osavion Buckner. From St. Mary's University, a 6'5" guard, number 11, Kima Gibson. And from Cape Breton University, a 6'6" forward, number 8, Shakir Locke. The head coach of the Truro Tide is Pat Havard. The assistant coach is Brendan Hines. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the starting lineup for your Charlottetown Power, please welcome Cowboy Mike Hughes from Red Rock Wrestling.
Eastlink Center, it's game time. We're in our house. Let me hear you make some noise. I said, let me hear you make some noise. Last night, with a great performance, we took over sole possession of second place in the league. And tonight, we start to hunt down Truro for that number 1 spot. Eastlink Center, let me hear you make some noise. Are you ready? Power fans, I said, are you ready? Then let me introduce to you our power starters. From Fontana, California, Adam Stanford. From Los Angeles, California, Zach Hinton. From Gary, Indiana, KV Myrick. From Toronto, Ontario, Jordan Holness. And the big man in the middle, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Marcellus Talaferro. The boss on the bench, Lonnie States, and our very own Kathy Quinn. Let me hear you make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, your officials for this afternoon's game, Todd McGinnis, Rob Connell, and Dale Farish. Our minor basketball team this afternoon, the Island Aces basketball program.
And there you have it, folks. In the words of Lil Bow Wow, they're playing basketball here on this Security Saturday. Power, take the tip off as I'm waking up. KV takes it up the court, goes to Stanford. Now Taliaferro has it at the top of the arc. Back to KV, inside to Stanford. Pardon me, Hinton. Hinton no good for 2 there. And the Truro Tide will take over, and Benford will take it up the court. Armin Benford looking to move past Myricks here, taking his time. Quick little bounce pass to Garrick. Garrick back to Benford. KV just comes underneath the armpit there and says, get that ball out of here. Pulling up for 3 early, and it pays off. Q Gibson there for 3. Holness to Stanford. Mid-range, good for 2. I am no Nostradamus, folks, but I can predict this. We have a lovely day of basketball ahead of us. And KV wishing that one went the other way. And by other way, I mean not off the referee's shins and out of bounds. Can't blame the official there, as he just got in the way, and wrong place, wrong time. More than malicious attempt there. Pulling up for three again, this time no good by Young. Stanford one-hands it out of the air. Odell Beckham? No, it's Adam Stanford. Over to KV, no good. Truro inside the key, out to a corner three, and then back inside the paint, no good there. Savion Buckner on that last attempt. Stanford from mid-range off both pieces of iron and no good. You can hear the communication there, but from the Charlottetown bench, as the floor is awfully quiet, and Taliaferro reins this one in. Myrick's for the power here. Holness looking to find a man or a lane. He makes one for himself for two and one. See if Holness can go for a three-point play here. And it falls through with ease. Power up two on the Truro Tide. Two defensive teams battling it out here in the first quarter. We've only just begun, and what a game of basketball we've seen from the stoppage end. A long pass over to the top of the arc. Benford pulling up from mid-range and hits it. Holness for the power. Short bounce pass to Taliaferro. Taliaferro to Stanford. Stanford with a long two-pointer, toe on the line, no good. Clean up. Taliaferro finds it. Stanford breaking that one up, and cleanly so. So it's a power ball here and a substitution for the Tide as DQ Cathcart makes his way onto the court. A short bench today for the Tide, only 4 players. And with Logan Rempel out for the season, while there are 6 players on the bench, there are 5 healthy ones for the power. Holness for 3, no good. DQ pick and roll to Benford. Benford from the free throw line, looking for room, trying to move it past Hinton. Goes to the perimeter with Q Gibson. Down underneath. Ball hangs out on the rim and says, I might as well go in. Garrick Alexander for 2. Myrick's here. Bounce pass to Hinton. Hinton rolling off both ways and finds it for 2. DQ taking his time here, 15 on the shot clock. Pulling up for 3. Shot from the big man, Shaq Locke, no good. Stanford to Hinton. And another big-ish man shot, no good. Back-to-back three-point attempts, but only one of them good. And that one by Q Gibson for 3 gives Truro Tide the lead. Myrick's to Stanford to Holness. Pick and roll to Hinton. Bounce pass to Taliaferro. Taliaferro pulls up for himself, no good. 7 minutes left here in our opening quarter. Tide loving that 1-point lead, their first of the day. That shot by Locke is good. Pardon me, their second lead of the day. They had the opening basket. Pardon me. Holness pick and roll to Myricks. Myricks with a beautiful shot for three. Ties it up 12 all. Alec Berryman and Mike Anderson ready themselves for the power. Pass from the baseline up to the arc. Shot good for three there by DQ Cathcart. Two substitutes ready themselves for the Tide. Holness to Hinton, inside to Stanford. Good for 2 and 1. Look at Stanford, straight face, walking it out, letting everyone in the building know it's my time. It's my time. Travis Adams checks in for the Tide, the new addition, as well as JP Gonzalez, a familiar face and a formidable one if you're the Charlottetown Power. JP had a great game in this last matchup between these two teams. Let's see what he can do today. Stanford's and one good. As Cathcart looks to move past Myricks. Gets over half court with just 16 on the shot clock. Cathcart keeps it alive, finds an open man. Berryman stuck like glue on defense. Stanford as well. Myricks strips him away. Myricks to Berryman. Shot off the rim, no good. Hinton on the cleanup, no good. See what Stanford can do. Stanford, no good. 3 consecutive misses by the Charlottetown Power. Is it a sign of the apocalypse or a shooting slump? I don't know. But this one will hurt. Zach Hinton picks up his first foul of the day, and Charlottetown's first foul of the day. JP Gonzalez goes to the line. Makes his first shot. And his second. Mike Anderson with the ball, goes to Berryman, passes just behind him. But the ball was tipped away by Truro. Yes, you can see there, Q Gibson just gets tip of his middle finger on the ball. That's what sent it out. We typically don't see Mike Anderson miss many passes. So not surprising to see that tip there. Berryman on the inbound goes to Myricks. Myricks to Stanford. Stanford rolling off, beautiful bounce pass to Hinton, good for 2. Gibson to Cathcart, guarded by Myricks. Over his head to Alexander. 3-point attempt off the front iron, no good. Inside, Hinton can't find the angle on defense, so Alexander cleans up for 2. Anderson from mid-range, shot no good. Power go with that too high. Stanford works down low. This man steps out of bounds. But not before he is fouled. And Adam Stanford picks up his first foul of the evening. Charlottetown's second of the quarter. Cascard on the inbound goes to Gonzalez. Gonzalez going the long way around, and a hard way to find 2 points.
Charlottetown foul, number 9, Alex Berry. That'll be his first. That'll be the team's third.
Alec Berryman with his first foul. Gonzalez makes his first shot. Myrick's inside the paint finds 2 free throws.
Truro foul, number 4, Casey Gonzalez, his first. That'll be the team's third in the ballgame with Truro now. Number 2, Herman Bedford. Also into the game for Truro, number 8, Shakir Locke.
KV Myrick's unlucky on both shots. See what's hit. And Hinton cooking up a 2-pointer there. Not a total loss for the Charlottetown Power, as the drawstring of JP Gonzalez is coming out of his shorts. Power with an aggressive press on defense right now. Stanford and Hinton hanging back around the baseline. Shot from 3-point range, no good there by Cascard. Anderson inside to Hinton for 2. So Power regained the lead after focusing on defense for 2 straight weeks. Offense not lacking so far today. Kept alive by Gonzalez. Goes from Locke over to the top of the arc to Adams. And another foul on Alec Berryman. His second of the evening. Afternoon, I should say. Up to Gonzalez. Over to Adams. Now it's DQ. The shot clock expires, no good. Ball hit off the rim though. Tide get another chance, and they find it there. DQ Cascard again for 2. Hinton to Stanford. Shot no good. Kept alive by Anderson. Out to Myrick's. Shot good for 3. What a presence by Mike Anderson inside the paint. We've been seeing him no further perforated than mid-range. Here he keeps it alive and sends it out to KV for a wide open 3. What a play. Inside, some acrobatic athleticism on display now by DQ. Talk about a heavyweight bout. You see the shot again there by Myrick's, and what a shot. Jack McCauley, DeKel Brooks, and Jordan Holness checking into the game. Cascard no good there. 24 all. 2 minutes left to go here in this opening quarter. Jordan Holness commanding the offense. Inside, Taliaferro, another young presence. Reverse layup there, no good. Finding a wide open lane. What vision by Armin Benford there for two. Stanford sees this one roll out. I believe Travis Adams got the last touch on it. Oh, pardon me. That was Armin Benford. Nico Abeda checking into the game as well for the Tide. Holness again to Taliaferro. Taliaferro from free throw line. 7 seconds left on the shot clock, and the Tide regain possession here. Taliaferro doing his greatest impression of an Olympic hurdler. So that'll be a foul every day, but not a shooting foul on Benford. Long shot there, hitting the top of the board. Power with the ball. Holness to Brooks. He's hot yesterday, and he's only warming up today here in this first quarter. In our final minute, Brooks gives the Power a 1-point lead. Not to be outdone. Don't doubt him one bit. Travis Adams inside for 2 and 1.
Power foul number 1, J.B. Myron. His second. The Power over the limit. Check that foul. Number 19, Marcellus Calipero. That'll be his second. Power over the limit.
Taliaferro picks up 2 fouls on that play. The second being a dead ball foul. Adams good for his and 1 opportunity. The Power take over with 35 seconds left on the clock, 16 on the shot clock. Hinted pick and roll to McCauley, front rim, no good. Stanford quick dish out to Brooks. He'll take his time. 16 on the clock, 12 on the shot clock. And Stanford sells it inside for 2. Nico Abeda will pick up on the foul. His first of the evening. Power clearly playing a physical game here in this first quarter. 7 fouls on the board. Tide responding with an equally armament of athleticism themselves. 4 fouls on the board. First shot by Stanford falls through. Second shot, no good. Tide grab it as it falls down from the rim. 3 seconds on the clock. That one from the top of the glass, no good. And time will expire here in the first quarter with a score of 29-28 for the Truro Tide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with second quarter action as we look up to wrap up our first half here in the Eastlink Center. And what a first quarter it has been. If it's any indication whatsoever, the defense has been prevailing today, but you wouldn't guess it based off the scoreboard. Yes, there have been quite a few shot attempts, but let me tell you, What a game it has been for stops and blocks inside the paint. You see there again, Taliaferro getting a little physical with it inside. But at the same time, what a game it has been. I'll say it again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Charlottetown Power would like to thank Murphy's Pharmacy, Taco Boy, Uptown Lounge, Canada's Best Value in Fast Time, and the Provincial Credit Union in Stratford, France, for their support of Power.
As we get back ready to go here, we'd like to thank those who sponsor us. Murphy's Pharmacy, Taco Boys, the Uptown Lounge, Canada's Best Value in, Fast Signs, Provincial Credit Union, Maritime Electric, Sunley, Spa Fitness Center, All-Star Cresting, and Regal Cresting, as well as Hunter's Ale House. Again, a defensive maneuver there, kept alive, and Stanford steals it away. Brooks inside for two. Back to back to back defensive and offensive opportunities for both teams, but the Power coming out with some tenacity here in the second quarter. Shot off the rim, no good. Myricks pulls it in. Myricks will go coast to coast. Look at this. Look at this. Good for 2 and 1. Myricks turns 2 into 3. And the Tide look to get their first full possession of this quarter. Taking their time with it. 12 on the shot clock. Finding that movement to see if they can get the open man. Little pump fake, making his way inside. Shot off the rim, no good there by Adams. Myricks, no good here. Fighting his way inside, though. Just can't rein it in. Inside the key, what a beautiful dump off to his teammate. The Tide exhibiting some athleticism here. 10:37 left to go. Truro will get the ball back. And this one off KV. As he says, you can keep the ball, but it won't be easy. Finds his man on the baseline. Good for 2 there as Shaq Locke puts that one through. Myricks to Brooks. Now Holness. Stanford over to Hinton. Shot for 3, no good. Buckner shovel pass to the outside. Locke goes back to Gibson. Good for 3 by Gibson. That gives the Tide a 1-point lead. KV Myrick's. What a beautiful shot there. And another great shot by Gibson. Goes back to back on the three-pointers. Myrick's to Brooks. Brooks from the key, no good. Reined in by Alexander. And they give him a wide open lane, but he just can't find it. Benford wants that one back. Stanford, out of spite, puts that one through to tie it up 37-all. Just under 9 minutes left to go in this second quarter. If you're just joining us, Truro Tide in blue, Charlottetown Power in white. Q Gibson, who can blame him for pulling up for another three, but that one no good. Gets the ball back. Bit of a jackal step inside and no good. Hinton again here. And again, he finds it for two. That three-pointer by Buckner, good. Myrick's with a hefty pass to Brooks, but he just can't finish it as that one off the back rim and no good. Myrick's one-man army. What a day he is having. Holness looks for the exclamation point. Turns out to just be a dot at the end of the page. Tide knocking at the door of the Power. While they have the lead, they can just only find it from the perimeter as of late. And the Power struggling to find one as well. And an air ball by Buckner. Assistant coach for the Power, you heard her there. She said slow it down. And that's just what they do. KV Myrick's walking his dog up the court. 10 on the shot clock, 8. Holness pulls up for 3. Don't sleep on him, folks. The crowd loving that shot. Hinted fouling there. It's going to be a timeout on the Truro Tide. And as our lovely PA thanks some of our game day sponsors, I'll do the same. Papa John's Pizza, Game Changers Golf Fitness, Dino's Pizza, and again, it's All-Star Cresting. See number 37 there, Logan Rempel, an unfortunate loss on this season as that torn lateral meniscus took him out of his first professional season after a lovely goodbye at Holland College, a trip to nationals, an ACAA championship under his belt. Now he has to sit on the bench, but I was talking to him, and he's still a part of this team. You can see it in his heart. He's not one to sit back. You can see he's just mopping the court there. He's doing everything to help his brothers out on the hardwood from the bench. Great to see the athleticism and the heart of competition come through in these players, as well as our visiting youth team of the day. Shout out to Island Aces, U10 Charlottetown and Stratford, coached by Jason McDonald. That name sounds familiar. Jason McDonald, a former UPEI basketball player from the 90s. Little fun fact for you. As Tide and Power have recollected themselves, we get back to it. Gibson avoids going out of bounds, but can't avoid the miss. Myrick's been having himself a day as he goes inside to Stanford. On the fadeaway shot, trickles off the rim and no good. What a great pass there, and what a shot by Gibson. That pass there by Adams. Only 10 players on the court, 5 for each team, but it seemed like it went through about 20 people to find Gibson. Another fadeaway attempt by the Power, this time by Hinton, no good. Adams finds it for 2 this time. Holness for the Power. Pick and roll to Stanford. Finds Hinton from the free throw line. Nothing but net. Top of the arc, Alexander dumps it off to Benford. Benford gets it back on a quick give and go. Benford outside, Alexander. Pump fake. Goes over to Adams, who can't find it. Ball is still kept alive, though. It'll go to the Power, but those shot attempts. We see Troy Tremblay check into the game. After those shot attempts there, though, Charlottetown Power giving away too many offensive rebounds. And head coach Lonnie states will have a word with his team as he takes his turn to take a timeout. Ooh, it's trivia time here. This is Mike Anderson, folks, just so you know. I don't know if you could hear the question. From Grand Bay, New Brunswick, played at UNB Fredericton. Knew it right away. Not to boast my basketball knowledge, but maybe a Power aficionado. Might consider myself. Not to toot my own horn. But no, it's good to see these activities coming through in the Charlottetown Power and here at the Eastlink Center. Keeps the fans active. Get out here. It's a fun show. Let me tell you, it's not just basketball. And Willem Murad and I, assistant coach for the Charlottetown Power, we were having a conversation the other day. If you like hockey, you will love, and I mean love, a game between the Charlottetown Power and the Truro Tide. We've said it, I've said it over and over again on this broadcast today. It's back-to-back heavyweight bout. Up and down the court, quick action. I gotta say, the greatest show in the Maritimes right now. No hate to Alan Doyle, of course. Stanford loses the ball there. Three-point attempt falls short and right by Gibson. Tide will get the ball back here, though. Troy Tremblay having a great showing on defense, but can't avoid the hot hand of Gibson. 3-point lead for the Truro Tide I can't say we'll see one team run away with it. I'll knock on wood, though. Myrick's pulls up for 3. And look at that. In the blink of an eye, from formulation to fruition, it's all tied up here at the Eastlink Center. If you're just joining us, I'm Grant Harrison. Truro Tide in blue, Charlottetown Power in white. Pulling up from mid-range, no good. Hinton reins it in, goes to Stanford. Quick pass over to Myrick's. Inside to Troy. Tremblay finding 2. Tremblay with his first points of the day. Myrick's was looking for it there. Troy Tremblay, a big presence, but Adams works around him and finds 2. Hinton along the baseline goes to Stanford. On his way to the rim, he's fouled. No animosity yet being shown by either team. As well, it's a physical one. It's a respectful one. You see after the play, Adams daps up Stanford and says, you know, just doing my job here. We're just having some business. Stanford hits his first shot. Looks like as he was making his way up to the rim, he dislodged some of the netting on the basket there. This will be the second time that netting has to be replaced on that basket this season. And I want to say it was Stanford the first time who pulled loose the strings of the basket. Three-point no good by Gibson. Pulled in by the Power. McCauley bounce pass to Hinton. Over to Stanford. Making his way inside again. No good there. Troy Tremblay sees it go through the 5-hole and out of bounds. Truro Tide take over with 2:19 left here in the second quarter. Take a little officials timeout to dry off the ball here. See that last three-pointer by Gibson on your screen. Just a heavy shot there. When it comes off the rim with that speed, you just got to think to yourself, should have been a bit slower with that shooting motion. But the Tide won't dwell on it as Cathcart thunders his way inside for 2. Hinton now for the Power. Just couldn't regain his handle. And Cathcart will go back-to-back baskets. Myrick's inside for the first time today. Not a result he was hoping for. Three-pointer by Gibson there. What a day Q is having. Kimaya Gibson, otherwise known as Q, 20 points on the evening. What are we seeing here, folks? Q, a fantastic player this season, having a standout performance this afternoon. 20 points. He's gone 6 for 9 from the three-point line. We believe the current record for ECBL three-pointers in a single game is 14. As we get back to it, Berryman over to McCauley. McCauley from mid-range finds it for 2. With just a minute left to go here in this second quarter. Shout out to Katina Parker. I recognize you from my Holland College season last year. Shouting out Marcellus Taliaferro, though, the pride of Milwaukee. Inside, Cathcart finds it for 2. 5-point lead by the Truro Tide. Troy Tremblay finds it for 2. Power with the press here on defense. As Gonzalez is met by Berryman. Hinton tried to strip that one away out of the hands of Gibson, no good. Gibson pulls up for 3 front rim, no good. 13 left on the clock. Cathcart moving past McCauley. And Cathcart will be fouled as he goes up for 2 by Jack McCauley. 5.5 seconds left. Tide lead by 3. First free throw attempt there by Cathcart, good. Second shot, good as well. Berryman pulls up. Shot falls short, though. And time will expire here in the first half. Tide leading by 5 going into the locker room here. And a quick shout out to Vaughn Fantana. I assume by number 1 you mean Nico Abeda. Like beta fish, the emojis there and that. And what a game he is having as well. All right, folks, we'll see you in just about 14 minutes here as we get ready for second half action. And one can only take a shot in the dark at what we're about to see here in this second half. Tide on track for 120. Power on track for 110. And what a game we have seen offensively, defensively. But for now, I'm Grant Harrison, and I'll see you in just a few short minutes. And we are back for second half action in the ECBL, featuring the Charlottetown Power wearing white and the Truro Tide, the formidable opponent, wearing blue. Right here in downtown Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, pardon me. I'm Grant Harrison, bringing you the sounds of the action as Power have our opening possession of the second half, and Myrick's with a shot attempt, no good there. Harmon Benford takes over for the Tide. Pass over to Alexander. Ball bobbled in the air, but regained by the Tide as they have a chance to slow things down, but they do need a quick shot. And a travel called on Osavian Buckner with 1 second left on the shot clock. Power take over. Taliaferro to Myrick's. Bounce pass to Stanford. Over to Holness. Holness with a shot at the end of the shot clock there. No good either. Holness with a beautiful defensive play there, stealing the ball away into the lap of Stanford. Shot no good. We have yet to see a basket in a minute and a half of action. Myrick strips that one away and travels. So Tide get the ball back on their own end. 10:21 left to go. The inbound to Locke. And Marcellus will foul. Locke to shoot 2 free ones here. First shot, no good. Second shot is good, though. That'll be our first basket in nearly 2 minutes of scoreless action, as it's been missed baskets and incredible defensive play. Taliaferro looks to hit it on the turnaround, can't find it. Inside the key, Hinton with a big defensive stop there, not giving Alexander the room to breathe. Stanford on the step back, finds 2. Tide taking their time with it again. 8 on the shot clock. Still a little room to breathe. Locke making his way inside, and Hinton will strip that one away to make him inbound with 3 seconds left on the clock. Can't find it into the lap of Holness, though. Power take over. Behind the back bounce pass to Hinton, and Myrick works his way inside. Goes down to the court pretty heavy. Gonna look to find 2 the hard way. DQ Cathcart will check into the game, as well as number 20, Travis Adams. Myrick's taking a long breath at the free throw line. First shot, no good. Myrick's does make his second shot, though. And it's a 3-point game. Just over 9 minutes left on the clock here in the third quarter. Benford to Locke. Taliaferro playing aggressive and clean as Tide looks to take another chance at things. Taliaferro comes over the top of that block with the body there. That will send Benford to the line for 2 free ones. Little foul trouble here. KV Myrick's with 4 fouls on the afternoon. That second shot by Benford falls through. Myrick's to Stanford. Stanford with the body, no call. And Myrick's rolling his way inside. Bit too hefty of a touch off the glass, though. Shot no good. Cathcart the other way, goes over to Adams. Back to Cathcart. DQ. Off the rim, no good. And Stanford will be fouled by Benford there. As we're starting to see this one get a little chippy. Holness picks it up. Mike Anderson checks in for KV Myrick's. Holness imitating Myrick's there with that pass over to Hinton. Shot no good. Stanford on the cleanup, no good. Cathcart over to Benford. Benford inside, up, and no good there. Talk about defense. If you're a fan of scoring, avert your eyes. Hinton goes down hard there. He'll take the walk back as he rejoins action here at the bottom of your screen. Shot falls through, though, as Tide take advantage of the 5-on-4. Holness over to Anderson. Stanford goes back to Anderson, and now Holness. 5 on the shot clock. Holness pulls up, nothing but net. Benford up top to Adams. Shot no good. They'll get another chance at it, though, as DQ works inside for 2. 6-point lead for the Tide here. And pun intended, Tides can change any second as Stanford goes up for a statement of a dunk. Gibson bounce pass off the right foot of Anderson. Ball goes the other way. Stanford again can't find it for 2 this time, though. And a long pass in transition, and Anderson gets physical with it. And you just hate to see this. Player down on the baseline. It's Benford. Pardon me, folks. That was DQ Cathcart down on the floor there. Appears to be upper body on the right arm. But you do like to see that there. After the fact, DQ goes over to Anderson. Anderson apologizes. DQ says it's just a game. As we resume action here, Gibson will inbound. Goes over top to Alexander. Alexander working past Taliaferro. Inside can't find it. Taliaferro passes up to Stanford. Stanford in transition goes to Hinton. Hinton finds it for two there. And just like that, it's a 3-point game. As now Adams goes up for two and is fouled by Taliaferro. Troy Tremblay will check into the game for Marcellus. As Taliaferro, his second foul of the afternoon. Pardon me, fourth. And earlier, I read KV Myrick's stat line wrong as well. He has 4 steals instead of 4 fouls. Well, he does have 1 foul. Troy Tremblay wants that one back. And he does get it back as he goes to the bank to cash in a check for 2 points. Truro Tide take a timeout here. Two 20-point players for the Truro Tide. DQ Cathcart at 20, as well as Q Gibson with 20 points as well. As we'd like to take this moment to thank our sponsors here. Murphy's Pharmacy, Taco Boys, the Uptown Lounge, Canada's Best Value Inn, Fast Signs, Provincial Credit Union, the Stratford Branch, Maritime Electric, Sunley, Spa Fitness Center, All-Star Cresting and Regal Cresting, as well as Hunter's Ale House. As we come out of timeout, a sense of normalcy regains the air. Both teams will hunker down for this last 5 minutes and 22 seconds of the third quarter. Miscommunicated pass there by the Truro Tide means the Charlottetown Power will inbound. Holness will take it up the court. Pauses for time as he's met by J.P. Gonzalez. Off the glass, no good, and Holness goes down hard. Gibson inside the key. Anderson tipped it away, but he regained. And a three-point attempt by Gonzalez. Good for the Truro Tide. Holness bounce pass. As Power are working that left side of the arc. Tremblay with a beautiful assist over to Stanford, good for 2. DQ showing no signs of inflammation on that arm, working inside for 2 points. Stanford catches a hip there. This time from Adams. Stanford inbounds goes to Anderson. Holness goes to Hinton. Hinton Euro stepping for 2 and 1. And the Charlottetown bench loves it. The most enthusiastic of them all, though, Logan Rempel. Hinton turns 2 into 3, and just like that, it's a 2-point game here in Charlottetown. Adams with his 4th foul of the evening. He's got one more before he's in real trouble. Anderson, look at this. An old dog can learn new tricks, or maybe that's an old trick coming back to use. Look at the aggression on defense there. To just discombobulate his opponent and put him in the tumble dry. His power on their free possession there, can't get it. Tremblay avoids the body. Hinton avoids the body as well. Tide working around the perimeter. They have 8 on the shot clock. Moving inside, a finger roll, no good. Stanford on the recollection. Goes up to Hinton. Hinton inside, can't find it. Tremblay on the cleanup, can't find it. Tide will get the ball here with 3:03 left to go here in the third. Shout out to my favorite one-hit wonder band from Denver, 303, of course. Benford goes to Gonzalez. Around the perimeter. Locke can't find that three-pointer as it falls off the front iron. Hinton inside, goes to Holness for a quick two-pointer. What a pass by Zach to find that extra maneuver. Shot attempt by Tide, no good. Stanford will take this one up the court. 74 all, 2:08 left here in the third. Stanford to Anderson. And Mike Anderson take the long way around to a mid-range two-pointer. Woo! Look at that dunk right there by Benford. Cleanly put through. 76 all. Holness bounce pass to Tremblay. I don't think Troy was ready for that one. Tide will take it up. Holness on the press. Shot attempt there, no good. Three-pointer finds home, though, and Gibson. Where's that one with honor? Gibson with 23 on the night, 7 for 12 from three-point range. This one rolls past Troy, but he doesn't touch it. much to the disamusement of Shaq Locke and the Truro Tide. Checking in for the Power, though, KV Myricks and Jack McCauley. Nico Abeda checking into the game for the Truro Tide, and he'll get right into the grill of Jack McCauley on this inbound pass. McCauley finds Myricks. Myricks finger rolls for two. 45 left on the clock here. Tide clinging on to a 1-point lead. Benford making his way inside, goes out to Abeda. Abeda with a mid-range shot, rolls around the rim and punches through for two. Myricks here for the Power. Free throw line pass to Troy Tremblay. Have yourself a day, Troy. 8 left on the clock. Abeda with the ball. Passes over to Locke. Now Benford. Benford at the baseline, goes up for it, can't find it. And time will expire here in the third with a 1-point lead for the Truro Tide. 12 minutes of basketball left to be played after a short 2-minute intermission. As we get back to it, Truro Tide on the inbound. Benford will take this one up for the pride of Nova Scotia. Long three-pointer there by Buckner, no good. Holness bounce pass stripped away by Abeda, but he'll make some contact with the arm of Myricks and be called for the foul. Look at the speed on this one, though. Abeda from nowhere to right there. Gets back on defense. Just an unfortunate foul there for the Truro Tide. Inbound by Stanford goes to Myricks, and now Holness with the ball. Holness bounce pass to Tremblay. Troy says he wants that one a bit higher, as Holness will inbound here. He'll look to Stanford for a mid-range, no good. Troy Tremblay was looking great there in the third quarter, but can't rein that one in for the second time in a row. Abeda making his way inside, sends it over the basket, and a body. You hear there, Nico picks up his third foul of the evening. Holness to Myricks. Myricks from the same spot as Stanford can't pull it in. Benford making his way in for 2 and 1. Much to the wonderment of Marcellus Taliaferro. As Marcellus now sits at 4 fouls on the day. 5, pardon me. Myricks to Holness. Holness hanging around that corner 3 area, working along the baseline for 2. And it's Charlottetown's turn at an and 1 opportunity. Jordan Holness, like the magician he is, turning 2 into 3. 83 all here, 10:26 left to play as we hunker down. Here for a 3-point attempt by Buckner, good. Myricks now for the power. Making his way in, he'll find 2 the hard way as he does a little discotheque spin there on the baseline. And is helped up by a teammate. Myricks' first shot good. 2-point lead for the Tide. And it remains a 2-point lead as that shot off the back rim, no good. Buckner passes over to Benford. Back to Buckner. And he passes to Casper, the friendly ghost there. Myricks to Holness. Though the shot won't count. What a nice little shot during a break here for Holness. Don't want it to go uncomplimented, of course. Buckner with a foul. Myricks' shot no good. 2-point lead for the Tide here. DQ brings it in, and Alexander brings down the house. Hinton fighting through traffic, and it's a travel. Benford bringing it up the court for the Tide. Benford over to Buckner. And now DQ with it. Moving past, Hinton finds it for two. DeKel Brooks with the ball for the Power. Goes to Holness. Holness with a little room to breathe goes to Taliaferro. No good, as Taliaferro is called for the foul here. And that will be the fifth foul of Marcellus Taliaferro. And after some hesitation, the timeout is taken by the Charlottetown Power. And once more, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Murphy's Pharmacy, Taco Boys, the Uptown Lounge, Canada's Best Value Inn, Fast Signs, as well as Provincial Credit Union, Maritime Electric, Sunley, Spa Fitness Center, All-Star Cresting and Regal Cresting, as well as Hunter's Ale House. And who needs a t-shirt cannon when you've got the arm of a volunteer here at center court, sending this one into the upper rows. He lines up for a shot with his right arm. No, he'll go back to reload as he makes his way into the crowd here at the Eastlink Center. Sends a bomb into the upper row. What a throw. Young Josh Allen here on the court. And he's disguised in a volunteer shirt for the Charlottetown Power. Six-point lead for the Tide. We've seen that knocked away in the third quarter. Let's see if the Power can hold on to it. This one's called a power ball here, as Anderson will inbound. Holness on a slow pick and roll to Stanford. And anything but slow on his way to the basket for 2 and 1. Osavion Buckner with his second foul of the afternoon. Just like that, a 3-point lead for the Tide. It's Power not to be slept on. And a quick defense here. The caffeine in the confines of the center. Shot clock expires there as the shot hits the rim. Lonnie States will draw a technical. Lonnie wonders where the warning is, but he won't get it as he's teed up. Tech shot no good. That'll bring Alexander to the line for two. And Lonnie States will be ejected from the game. Gibson puts that shot through. And Kathy Quinn will assume head coaching duties. Those shots no good there. But Osavion Buckner saves the day for two for the Truro Tide. Stanford dumps it off to Hinton, and Hinton will be fouled for two there. Garrick Alexander collecting on that foul. First shot by Hinton, no good. Second shot punches through. Five-point stand in between these two teams with 7 minutes left. It's been neck and neck all day long here at the Eastlink Center. This shot no good. Alexander. Some confusion here on the court. And yes, Alexander does foul there. So Mike Anderson will shoot two. Anderson puts through the first shot. And the second shot. Five-point lead for the Tide now after that two-pointer by Gibson. Stanford trying to work past Alexander. Gives it off to Hinton. Hinton will be fouled again. Q picks up his first foul of the day. Hinton makes his first shot of the trip. Makes his second shot as well. DQ bounce pass over to Osavion. Dishing it off inside to Alexander. fighting through it. He does find 2 free shots. Zach Hinton, second foul of the day. Pardon me, third. As he just recently hit 22 points. 3 players in this matchup above 20. 2 for the Tide. And of course, as we just said, Zach Hinton for the Power. KV Myrick's knocking on the door, though, with 18. And Adam Stanford, not to be outdone, 17 points. Stanford, the man himself at the baseline, gets the promotion from 17 points to 19. Two-point lead for the Tide here, 5:34 left to go here in this fourth and final quarter. Pulling up for 3-0, but net from Q Gibson. Myrick's will check into the game, as well as Adams on our next stoppage. Holness with the ball here, though. Ball is blown dead. Hinton goes out of bounds, just barely. Truro ball here. Benford looking to work up. Myrick's on the steal in transition. He's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Truro goes into bonus on that last foul. Myrick's can't find that first shot, though. Four-point lead for the Tide now. DQ making his way in for 2. That puts Truro over 100. And Holness wasn't even looked at as he finds his way to the basket for 2. Buckner with the ball here. Short pick and roll to Benford. Benford guarded by Holness, goes with the fadeaway. Gets that one. Just under 4 minutes left. Stanford takes his time, looks at the line, and finds it. Benford to Buckner. Now DQ. Front rim no good. Anderson on the box out. Dishes it off to Stanford. That one will roll off his right hand. But it's called that the last to touch it is the Truro Tide. Anderson on the inbound. Goes to Myrick's. Little pump fake action there on Benford. 14 on the shot clock, making his way in. Puts it over the rim again. Adams stripped away by Hinton. Myrick's in transition. Bounce pass to Stanford. Underneath the basket, over the rim. Buckner dishes that one off to Cathcart. Cathcart gives some airmail over to Gibson. And Q puts that one off the back rim. Adams on the cleanup, can't find it. Buckner inside. A foul is called. Be an and one opportunity here from the foul inside by Hinton. DQ Cathcart will go to the line. And Kathy Quinn will call a timeout for her Charlottetown Power. 2:38 left to go. Truro Tide leading by 6. Tomorrow, the Charlottetown Power will take on the Moncton Motion at 2 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Savings Time. Right here in the Eastlink Center. 3 home games on the weekend for the Charlottetown Power after their quick road trip down to Truro. They see him here for their second game of the weekend. DQ Cathcart taking his time from the bench of Truro all the way down to the free-point line. Free throw good there by DQ. And Stanford with the ball here as he leans into one, no good. Buckner for the Tide. Dishes it over to Benford. Benford is guarded by Hinton with room to breathe. He makes his way in. DQ on the lag shot. And his time expires on the shot clock. Charlottetown finds themselves down another basket. Inside no good, but Charlottetown does recollect. Hinton with the 3. Still a 6-point game, but Charlottetown ventures into 100-point territory. Takel Brooks readies himself at the scorer's table. Buckner pulls up for 3, shot no good. Stanford recollects. Long pass to Holness inside. And Holness catches a body and goes down hard. He'll have 2 free ones coming his way. Travis Adams with his 5th foul of the afternoon. First shot by Holness, no good. Second shot does find it though, and it's a 5-point game, 1:18 left to go. Gibson Inside to Adams. Adams guarded by Taliaferro, loses it, and it's power ball here. Holmes for three, no good. DQ takes it up. Hinton is called for the foul there, much to the dismay of the fans here in attendance. So Power at 6 fouls. $18 will be put onto the shot clock. DQ with the ball. Under a minute remaining, still a 5-point game. Inside Adams. Could that be the dagger? 7 points stand between the Power and the Tide. Now it's only 5. Hinton strips it away. Recollecting though, Benford. Wide open DQ. Stanford catches a ball to the chin there. DQ will go back to the line though. 5-point game now. $27.2 left to go. DQ misses that first shot. And the second shot, Taliaferro tries to rein it in. Power ball though, as Benford was the last to touch it. Brooks will inbound, he has Stanford. Taliaferro at the top of the key, Stanford takes it in himself. Bit too heavy of a touch off the rim, no good. 15 seconds left. And that's the dagger there, Q Gibson. With 11.8 seconds left. The Charlottetown Power will take what will probably be their last timeout of the afternoon. One asks themselves, what can you do to beat the Truro Tide? It seemed like Charlottetown Power had the answer, but the Truro Tide have the retaliation. And don't worry, folks, on your screen there it says 111 to 105. It's actually 112 to 105, pardon me. We'll go to the scores table. And yes, it is 112 to 105. .8 seconds left. 7-point game inside to Stanford. A quick one, no good. They needed that one And time will tick away here at the Eastlink Center as once more the Charlottetown Power fall to the Truro Tide. We thank you for listening, though. We thank you for tuning in, and tune in tomorrow as the Moncton Motion travel here to the Prince Edward Island that I call home and take on the Charlottetown Power as Charlottetown looks to go 2-1 on the weekend and hang on to that second place in the league. Signing off from Charlottetown, I'm Grant Harrison, thanking you once more.